What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Why wouldn't I be muted? Why wouldn't I be muted? Why wouldn't I be muted? I was prepared. I was prepared. What the hell is going on? I was prepared. God bless America, by the way. God bless America, land that I love. Welcome to The Breakdown, episode 674, sponsored by Midnight. You care about privacy, you go on to you get yourself a you go ahead and tune into me. We'll go ahead and educate you on goddamn Midnight. You can go on to midnight.network to learn more, though. Okay. You can get more information at midnight.network. Okay. Charles working his ass off, the entire team working their asses off for privacy. That matters. By the way, TikTok, I want you to come alive. Okay. I need you to reshare. Okay. TikTok, you've been, I got to say, though, TikTok has been phenomenal. 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 And by the way, for those who can't chat on Twitter with me, go straight to TikTok, go to YouTube. You'll be able to go ahead and have a conversation with me. Thank you, Landy. I appreciate it. Let them know. But I want all the TikTokers. I want you to reshare this stream with your friends and family, with your worst enemy. I don't care. Call your grandmother right now. If your grandmother right now is downstairs in the rec room and she's playing dominoes, out there in the streets, you tell her, Grandma, ain't no time for dominoes right now. David's on the air. David's live. And you better double tap like nobody's business. Double tap the goddamn screen until your fingers bleed. Also, shout out to Twitter. Thank you very much for those who can chat for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Trying to get everything done on Kick. Speaking to Kick and their staff. So trying to get verified on Kick. Okay. Trying to get verified on Kick. But I'm not joking about calling your grandmother, grandparents, your mother, your worst enemy, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend. Get them. Yo, listen, tell them like you need to tune in right now. Like you need to tune in right now. I was supposed to be on here. We're gonna have a quick, I guess, quick market update with our favorite weatherman, Landy. We'll have to bring him on in a minute here. I've been trying to come on. I've been trying to come on the entire time. Okay? I've been trying to come on here the entire time. It wasn't happening. Obviously, we're talking. We'll get a little political here, but let's get, you know what? Let's get Landy right in here. Let's get Landy right in here so we can go ahead and talk about what's happening in the markets. Obviously, we have. I'm not being sarcastic here. I'm going to go ahead and throw out the sarcasm. We're not at war, but there is an attack happening. We are attacking Iran along with Israel. And there are others that have joined the campaign now because obviously they're getting hit. So they have, another choice. I like how they're joining like 2-3 days after the fact. Like they're showing like they've been about this life. France, out of all people. But Landy, I'm looking at the markets. I kind of expected the markets to dip. From the initial get-go, but then I really did think that the markets would go off. What were your thoughts there?
Yeah, how you doing, David? Look, markets like conflict. And this happening over a weekend, it was not unexpected to see things starting to rise after an initial lower term time frame dip. Of course, we had oil spike, a very key area, and then come right back down between 75 and 78 bucks a barrel. But kind of landing in and around what I've been projecting around that 68 to 70 area. So, markets reacting this way, not completely unexpected. If you remember back to the start of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, there was an initial dip and then markets started to rise again. Market appetite is to take cash and put it into things that are going to potentially go up when there is conflict around the world. So, yeah, not too crazy, but it's all about, do the markets continue to show strength? And I think if this were something that were to drag on for an extended period of time, I think that we would start to see a readjustment within markets in terms of a more risk-off posture. And I don't. It's still very early in this particular conflict to really tell what markets are going to do outside of the initial reaction. So the initial reaction being to the upside, not too unexpected. It's more about how long the campaign lasts, which,
Well, which would lead me into this question,
Mhm.
which is Trump came out today, earlier today, and stated that Iran has not seen anything yet. Essentially, paraphrasing there, but he said they haven't seen anything yet. They haven't, they really haven't come in there with full force. You see that happening this week, and I got to say this: by the reaction of the people across the world, I've been like looking and engaging. For the most part, people are happy, and you have Democrats and liberals that are actually siding with the Trump administration with this. So Trump says that he hasn't hit them with full force. What do you think happens here? Does this end? Does this end this week, or are we looking towards a long-term type of ordeal here? Which Pete, obviously the Secretary of War, said that he kind of gave it to liberal media there. But what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, what a lot of Americans don't really understand, and I say this as an American watching American media and looking at American social media, is that the IRGC and the Iranian government are very highly decentralized and autonomous. So this is likely going to take a while. And the initial strikes were meant to a lot of them are calling them decapitation strikes. The Ayatollah being killed is one thing, but the rest of the government can continue on in a decentralized manner. They already have their orders, that kind of stuff. So it's more about taking out the network of leadership. And, now that there are more entrants to this particular conflict, it's going to be very hard to hide from these coalition forces. Um, the existing regime is already, they've already been pretty devastated from early reports. Remains to be seen how much of those early reports turn out to be true. And it's not necessarily that it's fog of war, but there is fog of war. There's also a propaganda war on both sides. So there's a lot of crossing information that can be tough to discern in the early goings. um, I just messaged you earlier that Ahmadinejad could potentially be alive when it was initially reported that he was killed in some of these early strikes. But regardless, there's the entire regime's and military infrastructure. So the governmental and military infrastructure is highly decentralized, and it's all about taking that network out and then taking out the supply chains. And then, of course, many of them likely will go underground and try to hide within the populations there. So then it's about what type of intel operations are on the ground, how long does it take to find them, who's willing to rise, who's rising to power that might be more moderate, that might be wanting to find an out. And of course, we know that this current administration, the Trump administration especially, has said, like, no, we're going to keep continuing to dismantle, obviously high value targets, military sites, supply chains, intel networks, all of that kind of stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see. I would give it with some of what is coming out and the way that this administration has conducted prior operations. I think that this might be one of the longer ones, but it's likely going to take probably a week or two, and then it's really about taking a defensive posture in other areas, as some of the militia groups and some of the other parts of the terrorist network that they've been building out for a very, very long time might be activated, including concerns here in the United States, as we saw in Texas. So really, at the end of the day, all we can do is monitor the situation as the joke has become, and then kind of, you know, make sure that we're not taking everything with a little bit of a grain of salt until we see where things kind of shake out. And then, of course, pray for our troops, and pray for the innocent people that are caught in the middle of this conflict as well around the world, especially in those Gulf states, as Iran has seen fit to attack civilian infrastructure as a result of essentially dead man switching, and in my personal opinion, on a lot of the leadership structure being gone. You just, a lot of this stuff being pre-programmed and then hit go. So hopefully people are staying safe in that area, in that region.
Welcome to the Breakdown, episode 674. We have Landy on every single day at 12:15 p.m. 12:15 a.m. 12:15 p.m.
It's PM.
Listen, we're just coming over.
And I'm the one who should be jet lagged at all out of sorts right now.
Right? Yeah, I made a comment to him yesterday. I was like, because he gave me like, I'll be on at 9. I'll be like, or you said 6 or some shit like that. I was like, what are you talking about? I don't even
remember now, man. That was so many hours ago and so many meetings ago.
Well, Landy is on here from 12:15 p.m. He breaks down, obviously, the markets here. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go ahead and catch Landy's market breakdowns, 15 to 20 minute videos breaking down the entire market. So tune into that. Last thing before you go, and I wish I had you here longer, but that's on me. I was trying. I don't know what was going on here. Um, by the way, for those who can't, because you keep DMing me, go to TikTok. Go to TikTok. Go to YouTube, so you can go ahead and have or join in on the conversation. If anything, go to TikTok because they're violent out there. Anyway, they are TikTok. Shout out to TikTok. Shout out to violent. By the way, we just got restricted on TikTok, apparently because we're talking about the war.
Of
So
course.
the algorithm has restricted us. I have appealed. We'll see what happens. Okay, weird stuff. Landy, last thing before you go. You got 60 seconds here. Can you tell me? Do you think that this is going to be the time where the United States starts printing?
I
Because it
mean,
seems like every single time we get
we
into if the battle lasts a little bit longer than expected, do you think they start printing?
I don't think that it's a matter of printing because that's kind of subjective, right? You you could argue that reserve management purposes, the reserve management program and RMPs is printing. I would say that what I'd be looking for is funding for DHS out of Congress, right? Because then that's money being injected, but of course that's going straight to things that were already being, already allocated things, right? It's about releasing the funding at this point. I don't I don't know. I don't know if it's a time to necessarily say print. I don't think like
No, not it's not our opinion, but do you think that's something that will happen if this conflict escalates for more than just a few days here?
um no, I would say if it goes to Congress in terms of Congress pushing the issue for a declaration of war, which the president has, the War Powers Act, which is what many presidents, including all prior presidents since the 80s, have used. Um, you know, th- this is where I think, unless they're going to push the issue, I think it's more about when we talk about printing, typically we're thinking of the Fed and money printer go burr. And we've already kind of seen that they are essentially providing liquidity. So it's already happening. And I'd be looking for something like a package, right, to actually get printing rolling. And that's really where I'd be looking. Other than that, it's all about funding DHS and then kind of moving on from there. I don't really have an opinion as to whether or not money printer goes burr. I think it's more about rates coming down, um, and then farming the short end well. Besant handles the, he's going to keep issuing on the short end, much like Yellen did, and then managing the long end. And I don't think that too much of a stance is going to change out of the Fed until we get a new Fed head. And then we have to see how that Fed head handles the situation because we just had a very hot print on PMI manufacturing prices. So that 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 might cool some expectations and maybe even beget some pausing for rate decreases under the current Fed regime.
Appreciate you joining us again. You can catch Landy here every day at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He will be breaking down the markets for 10 to 15 minutes. Get you guys up and about while you guys drink some coffee. I don't even know if you guys drink, man. Honestly, some of you guys don't look like you do anything. But
Tomorrow,
Landy,
tomorrow I'll bring some charts with me so we can take a look at a few things that you might have some questions about.
I do, and I want to talk about some of the stuff that did come in, and we'll touch on that. Relax, don't think of anything naughty. You're still a little puppet. We'll go ahead and touch base later today, guys. Tune in 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Landy will go ahead and break down the markets for you. Tune in. It's on YouTube. It's also on X. Thank you, Landy. I appreciate you.
Thanks, David. Take care.
Landy, one of the great TA guys in the business here, and not just TA. He knows his stuff. Not just TA. He knows he's political. FAPA, TA. Dude knows Groupon. Is Groupon still around, by the way? Is Groupon still around? He knows we can get them discounts. That's right. I think he's more Jewish than I am. Welcome to the breakdown, though. Episode 674, sponsored by Midnight. Shout out to Midnight. Like I said, Midnight, Charles, and the whole gang, they are working. Privacy matters. If you're going to talk about Zcash and Monero, then you're going to talk about Midnight. Charles did something amazing, man. Charles finally has like full control of something, and he is showcasing it. He is all over podcast, all over. Like he is all in, chips all in. I love seeing it. Man. Also, Cake Wallet. Shout out to Cake Wallet. Shout out to Polymarket, the official prediction market sponsor of the DG brand and the breakdown. So that's right. It is 12:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Alexander joining us. Man knows everything about Iran, everything that's happening. So it's way different, way absolute different than what you're seeing on mainstream media. It's actual, real news, real information. Okay. Now, what have you watched mainstream media try to report on this very issue? I will give my thoughts to you on what I think about this entire situation, the U.S.-Israel attack in Iran. I'll give you my honest thoughts. I will. Okay. By the way, stay patient. Why did I get live restricted on TikTok? I don't understand. Why did I get live? TikTok doesn't like crypto and TikTok don't like politics. Unless you're, God bless Democrats and liberals, but like if you're not a Democrat or a liberal, your ass getting reported, man. It's so weird. Why report somebody? Just go. I gotta tell you, some people are just fucking miserable. Absolutely miserable. Like they wake up every day thinking about how to make everybody else miserable. Just go fucking play go play in the sandbox. Go run a lap. Go work out. Do something with yourself. You don't like what's being said here, you don't like me, then fucking go watch somebody else. Go open up your own show. Do something. Hear yourself talk. Go into the goddamn bathroom and just look into the goddamn mirror. Man, anyway, again, 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will have Alexander on here to go ahead and talk about what's happening in Iran, and I want to go ahead and ask him some questions. Okay, maybe we'll get Patrick David on. I don't know. Maybe we'll get him on. Want to get his thoughts. I had him on last time, and we talked about Iran. What, 2 years ago? 2 years ago, we talked about this subject 2 years ago. You guys can go ahead and replay my podcast where me and Patrick David went ahead and sat down and talked about everything that's happening in Iran. I got to say, our country's gone a little bit crazy. We got the left and the right, the woke left and the woke right going nuts. Going absolutely nuts. Hey guys, Americans, like if you're an American, I get it. You can disagree. Nobody likes war. I don't like war. I'm anti-war. I don't like war. That should be the last resort. Us going into some country or battling with somebody, that's last resort. But we sat down at the goddamn table how many times? Which we tried to negotiate. Trump tried to negotiate. Trump doesn't want, listen, whatever you guys say, Trump doesn't want to go to war. But Trump has stated so many times, not for a decade plus, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. How can anybody here, regardless of your party affiliation, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. It really doesn't. It does not matter right now. Because if you think or you are supporting, which I've seen, people supporting the that dictatorship of a regime, like who's paying you at this point then? You're supporting a terrorist organization over your own country because you hate Trump. It is wild. Think about that. You got the woke right and you got the woke left, which I'm very disappointed with some Republicans. Oh, it's Israel. It's Israel. Israel. Trump has wanted to go after Iran for the longest time. Trump did not agree with giving Iran billions of dollars. There's no negotiating with terrorists. You're negotiating with terror. I mean, Iran was a beautiful country until it was taken over, and it's the West's fault. The West is at fault for that. The West let it happen. It's crazy. CBS reporter is live. I think it's in California. He's trying to report yesterday, and CBS tells him, "We don't want you reporting at that scene right now," because it was showcasing a bunch of Iranian people celebrating, being happy that they're being liberated. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's crazy to see. I know it's the cool thing now. The cool thing now on social media is to blame everything on Israel, blame everything on Jews, Zionism, like just blame everything on the Jews. Like you break a leg, blame a Jew. That's what it's come down to. That's why like it doesn't, all this stuff doesn't hold weight anymore. It doesn't hold weight. It really doesn't. You got Nick Fuentes talking about that he's going to now encourage his crowd to vote for Democrats. These people, like I'm sitting back, these people were never Republicans. These people were never Republicans. They grifted off the MAGA movement. Legit, they grifted off the MAGA movement, and now they're just showing who they've always been. Forget it, who they are, who they've always been. Trump is not, I'm going to tell you this right now. And you know what? Decades from now, people will say, you know what? You could probably be cursing out Trump right now, but decades from now, you'll be saying, you know what? I might have not liked all his policies, but he did go ahead and stop China and their secret war against the United States and its allies. He did go ahead and have the balls to go ahead and stop it. China was in bed with Venezuela. China is in bed with Iran. See, China is not going to go out there and fight you. They're not fighting you physically. And that's what people don't get. It's a secret battle. See, what China did was, I'll put it, Trump has gone after China in so many ways. I don't know if you guys realize it. He's gone after Venezuela, Panama Canal, Iran. He's gone after TikTok. If you've seen China's TikTok, it's all about educational shit. You see TikTok in America, it's all about brain rot and dumbing down people. Hey, it's not about building rockets and sending them into space. No. That's what China does. It's not about mathematics. It's not about science. No. It's about, hey, prank your husband, prank your wife, trip that dude, do some sensational shit, brain rot, 6'7". Like, that's what China did. The secret war. Secret war. Trump came in and had the balls to say, you know what? We're going after these people, but we're going to do it strategically. We're not just going to, no, we're going to do it. The administration put a game plan together. This is a game plan that has been put together. And some of you guys might think, you know what? No, Trump is crazy. Trump is not stupid. You can think he's stupid, and And you're playing right into his game, but like, he's not stupid. Russia dislikes China. China doesn't like Russia, but China and Russia cooperate because they have nobody else to talk to. Russia would do anything to finally come to the table with the United States of America and broker a deal. Right now, Russia's watching this and they're saying like, yo, that's it. We're gonna have to end this war with Ukraine. By the way, you think the United States, you think they're not scared of the United States of America? You think countries are not scared? Let me say something. China won't ever do shit to the United States of America. They'll do it with their, like I said, with the little sneaky shit that they've done for the last decades, the little sneaky shit that they put together, right? Russia ain't gonna do nothing. What's Russia gonna do? They can't even beat Ukraine. Everybody, oh, Russia, like, and I'm telling you, like, my DNA, Russian in it. Russia can't do shit. And they won't do anything. They can't beat Ukraine. It was supposed to be 3 days. Take over Ukraine. Didn't happen. There's still 4 years now, right? 4 years now, you have a war going on. Russia, big ass Russia versus little ass Ukraine. And they can't take Ukraine. And people will say, well, the weapons are being supplied by Americans, but it's not Americans fighting. It could be supplied weapons, but it's not Americans fighting. You're fighting retired people, people that are on pensions that are coming out and fighting. They're what? Every single month, both sides are losing like, what is it, 100,000 people on both sides? Maybe more than that. Trump is going after China. Trump is going after China. The first thing he went after when he got back into the office was the Panama Canal. He took that back. Then he went after Venezuela. Well, he went after TikTok, but then he went after Venezuela. Well, the Biden administration, they went after TikTok, but Trump made a deal to take TikTok away from China. So there you go. You have TikTok, you have the Panama Canal, Venezuela, and now you have Iran. Cuba's next. I'm telling you right now, Cuba is next. I don't know how Rubio's going to do all this. I don't know how Rubio's going to be the president of Iran. I don't know how he's going to be the president of Cuba and Venezuela at the same time, but Cuba's next. Don't think for a second. And Cuba, there ain't going to be no missiles dropping on Cuba. It's just going to be like, okay, guys, the show's over kind of thing. Trump is giving you his game plan. Trump has told you exactly what is going to happen. He's told you exactly what's going to happen. Democrat politicians, I'm proud of the Democratic politicians that are coming out in support of what Trump is doing with his administration. I am proud of the Democrats that are coming out and saying, you know what? We agree with this because Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I'm going to say this again. I don't care, and it doesn't matter what side you're on. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran has done nothing but sponsored terrorism all across the globe. They cannot have a goddamn nuke. They're not trying to build nuclear power plants. They're not trying to do that. They're trying to build the capability to go ahead and destroy. If Iran, look at this. Iran's been attacking multiple countries now. You don't think they were ready to do this? You don't think they were planning? Spain, despicable. Spain for kicking out the US, saying that their country will not allow the United States of America to use bases in order to attack Iran. Why do we have these people in NATO? And why is the United States in NATO? Why? What does NATO do here for us? What is NATO doing? It's absolutely disgraceful. But when you need help, guess who they call? The United States of America. The Saudi prince. I watched the tape again, and I've seen this so many times. The Saudi prince was asked about Iran and whether he likes them. And he says no, and he didn't like the supreme leader either. He said he's trying to do what Hitler did. And that was years back. He said that's what he was attempting to do. Is do what Hitler did and do it to their region. And the Saudi prince has no plans of acquiring a nuclear weapon. He said it. But he said if Iran did, then they would have to follow. Again, I get it. I understand. I'm on the timelines. I listen to podcasts. I tune in. I've been on some major podcasts listening. And I've heard everything you can hear about Israel. Okay, you hate Israel. I get it. It's confusing because the way that you try to explain Israel and how you hate it and stuff. Okay, I get it. And some people think, oh my God, if they bring down Iran, then Israel gets all this power and Israel will control the Middle East and stuff like that. See this for what it is right now. And I'm going to say this again, and that is the United States of America, Trump and his administration will not allow Iran to hold a nuke. That's it. And if you are normal, if you are a normal human being, okay, if you are somebody with some sort of IQ, you would want to make sure that Iran never, ever has the capabilities of having a nuclear weapon, because that would be devastating. Devastating, not to its region, but then to the entire world. We also made a mistake with North Korea. I can get into the, I love geopolitics, but I can get into all this stuff right now. I'm going to stay here. But there are a lot of mistakes that have been made. I tweeted about this today. A lot of mistakes have been made. For decades, we have turned soft. We had no leaders. We have been soft. And when we did get Trump in, he attempted to do something, but he was surrounded by the same dog shit that surrounds everybody else. Trump didn't know it. Trump didn't even think that he was going to get elected. Okay, Trump didn't think he was going to get elected the 45th president of the United States of America. He said it himself. He didn't think. And then he got a crew together because this is what was put towards him. They said these people would be good, and they weren't good. A lot of them weren't good. Now he has an administration that actually knows what the fuck they're doing, and they're capable of putting together plans that benefit the American people and the world, because if you get it, right? As Americans, though, forget about Democrat, Republican. As Americans, we should be celebrating and being happy about Iranian people being so absolutely thrilled. Tears of joy, happiness, they're all over. CNN has no other choice but to report on this. CNN has no other choice but to bring on people who are happy, who have lived through these miserable conditions, telling you that this was they've been waiting for a leader from the United States of America, a president from the United States of America to do this, and they finally got one. And Trump came in and did it. And Trump's entire presidency hangs on the line on this one. I got to tell you right now, I'll say this. Trump's presidency hangs on the line right now with this current situation in the Middle East. Because if he doesn't get it done, I'm going to tell you this, though. He has to eliminate the entire regime. He has to take them all out. There is no negotiating. There is no takeover with Iran. You can't have a takeover you can't have somebody who was within that regime take over and promise that they're going to be good. No, this has to be a full blown restart where and also the people of Iran should be picking. Okay, not only should they be liberated and they should be living, and a Western civilization should grow after all this is said and done and blossom there, but we need to allow them to pick their own leader. We can't install somebody that's just going to obey everything that the United States says. And what I mean by that is maybe the crown prince should do, should be the transition leader for Iran, and then let them figure it out. I don't want a long war, man. And I don't want to use the term war because we don't have boots on the ground. This is a situation where the United States, I'm sure the United States had enough intel to say, you know what, we have to go in there and we need to really take them out. They try to negotiate. Trump said they try to negotiate. Trump also knows what's on the line. Midterms. The American people don't want to be dragged into another war. Mainstream media has already put it out there, bad, and they're playing clips of Trump saying that he would never do it, never go. And then, obviously there's tweets that he put out in 2011 or 12 or 13 where he criticized Obama for not being able to negotiate. I like when people bring up the past. People do mature. People who finally get into the position of power like Trump did, they finally realize some people, you can't negotiate with them. There's no negotiations. There's zero. There's none. You just have to do what you got to do, and that's it. There's no negotiations. Welcome to The Breakdown, episode 674, and we'll be right back right after this commercial break.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's where we build Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Welcome back to The Breakdown. Unfortunately, Alex, who reports on Iran, cannot make it here today. So we will continue on. Hopefully, we can get Alexander on here during the week, but unfortunately, he cannot make it here today. Last minute, watching radar, things are probably escalating, and that's not speculation. That's boots on the ground saying that things are happening. That's right, things are happening. Okay, I just got the message from him stating that. So hopefully, Trump did speak about dropping hell onto Iran. Who knows what happens today? Markets, though. Let's look at the markets. Let me quickly look at the markets real quick. Let me look at the markets. Markets are doing well. Markets are up. If you love crypto, crypto's up. I mean, crypto's still in this area, right? Crypto is still ranging in this area. So have we found our bottom is the question. That's something that, we can go ahead and chop up. We'll have a lot of guests on during this month, and I'll get into that topic. But have we found our bottom? By the way, I'm still waiting for TikTok to approve this appeal. I got restricted twice now. I don't know what I am saying to get restricted. Is there a platform besides X which is not working, which is not really working right now, that can go ahead and allow me to go ahead and speak my mind freely? Is it YouTube? Should I go on YouTube? Should I just designate YouTube as the main platform? By the way, FaceTime. Facebook, we try to connect Facebook and Instagram. That failed. So now we're speaking with Restream to go ahead and get that done. Okay. We almost had Facebook and Instagram, but it failed. It's okay. We're going to get that rectified. I got an email saying that it's not streaming. I was like, damn, because I was about to welcome all the boomers into the mix. And the boomers are passionate. The boomers are very passionate about these topics. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, YouTube is harsh, man. YouTube is very harsh, but I mean, so here's the problem. I have people that can't. There's some people that can and some people that can't go ahead and have a conversation from Twitter. Everybody else can. So it's like, what do you do here? What do you do? Do you just, because I could go ahead and right now, I haven't done this at all. I could put out the link to the TikTok and have everybody come in here right now. I could do that. But then will they find me since I'm restricted? This is such bullshit, man. Freedom of speech. If I had the ability to build out a major goddamn platform like X and stuff like that, I'd make it fucking incredible. And I'd allow anybody to say anything. I think you should have conversations with people that you don't agree with. I really do. You should absolutely 100% have conversations with people that you dislike or people that you just don't agree with. Getting back to Truth Social could be one. Truth Social, I think I can live stream to Truth Social. I got to look into that. I think I might be able to do it. Could I do that? I think I could do it to Truth Social. We might have to look. You know what? We might have to look into that. I forgot about Truth Social. Tech with the layup. Shout out to Tech. I could. All right. Speaking of crypto, let me talk about privacy here. So over the weekend, before we get into crypto, actually this is on crypto, but it won't be privacy yet. So speaking of crypto, I don't know if the TikTok heads have seen this, but Twitter exploded. Twitter was boycotting, absolutely mad. So many people came out and absolutely were losing their minds because Nick, the head of product for Twitter, I don't want to say it's him, but somebody within the rule department, the policy department, wrote that cryptocurrency would not be allowed to be spoken about here promotionally, even if you disclose it, because Twitter just came out with their new button, which tells you that you have to disclose whether something's AI and whether something is a paid promotion. By the way, I think it's fantastic that there is a button, because there's a button on every single goddamn other platform. Instagram has it, TikTok has it. I think it's great. YouTube has it. I think it's absolutely delayed. The delay on this button. I mean, it's great to make sure that you can go ahead and actually push it. It makes it easier. You don't have to say sponsored by anything. You could just say something and you just go ahead and say it was a paid promotion. It makes life easier. But you know why people got nervous? Because they don't know how to trade. That's the problem. When people, they're gonna hate me and they're gonna come after me, but hey, it is what it is. That's why I have this platform, and I take it. Listen, I take it like a champ. Relax, not that way. But now that people have to, or they were thinking about, oh shit, how do I do business now? That got them spooked. They were coming out with pitchforks after Nick, okay? That's what I'm gonna call him, Nick. Nick, the head of product for X, they were coming out with pitchforks after this man. Pitchforks. He didn't even know what was going on. Yo, this is the first time I'm going to have his side. He didn't even know what was happening. He didn't even know what was happening. He was confused. He's like, why are people coming after me? I have no clue. And then he took care of the issue. He took care of the issue. But listen, there's nothing wrong. By the way, let me say this. There's nothing wrong with being paid. There's nothing wrong with being, and I would say this. If you care about your brand, if you really care about your brand, you make sure you partner up or you get sponsored by really good companies and products. Because long term, the products benefit and you benefit. Everybody benefits. To be sponsored by some absolute dog shit, yeah, you could say paid promotion, but like, that's your brand. You got anonymous figures. Nobody's on LinkedIn. Nobody sees anybody's face. I get it. People want to be anonymous and that's cool. But like, come on, man. Like, there's a face to Midnight. There's a face to Cake Wallet. There's a face to Polymarket. I get offered everything and the kitchen sink. I won't do it if I don't know what the fuck you look like. Why would it? If you are proud of your product, if you are building something, if you are absolutely proud of what you're building, why wouldn't you show your face? What do you think? It's different here? This is what I mean about crypto and branding, right? This is exactly what I mean about crypto and branding and how it absolutely is terrible. Because here's another one. You got people that are absolutely building things that will not show their faces. How is anybody going to take it seriously? Like, if somebody wants to invest into your company, how can they take you seriously if they don't know who the fuck you are? You think it's trust me, bro? Bro, I don't trust people that I see. Bro, did I say any lies there? A lot of you guys don't even trust people that you see. You imagine trusting somebody that you don't see, and it seems like a lot of people trust people that they don't see, which is amazing. Nothing besides the word decentralization has changed in the crypto industry. It's still, like, capitalism still exists. Structures of companies still exist, except that in Web3, air quote, whatever you fucking call it, you're front facing, you're building in front of the crowd in real time, 4K, 8K. It's not like Apple. Okay, you can't attack Tim Cook. Like crypto is, this is how stupid and immature crypto is. Apple, right? You don't know what Apple's cooking up. You do know what people are building out in crypto, right? Because you see it, AK, decentralized on chain. You don't see what's happening in centralized companies. You imagine you motherfuckers telling Tim Cook what to do? Could you imagine you guys telling Tim Cook or bashing or trolling? You actually think he gives a fuck? No. You think anybody from Apple gives a fuck? No. Will they take your criticism? Will they take your constructive feedback? Yeah. But do you think they might apply it? Maybe 0.5% they might look into. Do you know how hardcore it is to go ahead and be a builder in this goddamn space? You know how hardcore? If you can, it used to be if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. If you can make it in crypto, you will make it anywhere, okay? It is so toxic here that, that's all you could say. It's like, but you're building in 4K. You're building in 8K in front of everybody. And everybody who's your friend isn't your friend. And people are just watching so you slip so they can go ahead and, I don't know what the fuck, hit you with a goddamn brick. That's why, so it goes back to like, who's going to take an anonymous person seriously? Not a lot of companies with a lot of money, but I can understand why people are anonymous. They don't want to deal with the horse shit that happens in the industry. Why are the legacy companies more successful in crypto than the people that actually built this space, that helped create this space, help build this industry? Because there's more good than bad in this industry. You guys, because the bad is always loud, right? Good things aren't loud. Bad is always loud. So you think, oh, the whole industry is bad. Meanwhile, 95% of the industry has got it right. They're building out, like Midnight, building out privacy, which is necessary because, example, companies can take it on, pay people in crypto, right? And nobody has to know how much they're getting paid, meaning people within that company don't have to know what somebody is getting paid. Because if people see it on chain, that's a problem. You lose a whole staff. You lose a whole company because now people are pointing fingers. Why is she or he getting paid more than me? You need privacy. That's why you need Midnight. And you need Monero, and you need all this. It's not because people are trying. It's not people trying to hide things. No. It's like, does anybody see your bank account? No, only you should see your bank account. The general public shouldn't know I shouldn't know, the general public shouldn't know what you have in your bank account. I think we've lost it. But again, I can understand why people are anonymous because they don't want to deal with this shit out here. Because everybody says, come here to build. And then the next day they're out here with pitchforks, completely holding spaces, holding video, doing everything. God damn it. 24 hours in, you invited somebody to build here, and then you're executing them. Okay, you're lynching them. You have them you have them in Times Square, tying a rope to their necks, hitting them with a goddamn barbed wire. Like, it is so weird. It really is. But for those who build here, look at Charles. I'll take Midnight, for example, Charles, right? I like the fact that Charles, as a builder, got the fuck off of X. You know why I like the fact that he got off of Twitter? He got off of Twitter because it was fucking toxic. And all he was doing was, you imagine, it's kind of like Neo in The Matrix, but part 2. When Agent Smith is all over the place and more agents keep coming and they come and they keep coming. It's the same thing on Twitter. It's like you can defeat one person, but then like 90 more people come, and now you're fighting trolls all day long. And these are a bunch of people that do absolutely nothing with their lives, but all they want to do is pick you apart. And like you're fighting and fighting, and you're just wasting precious time, currency that you'll never get back, that you could have used on building your product. That's why now he's in Discord. Now he's in Discord chilling and building and talking and having conversations with normal human beings. Why are the boomers, why are the VCs, why are the institutions doing better than retail? Because they're mature. They know this industry can be good. They know, listen, they talk about tokenization all the time. Think about what Wall Street says all the time. Larry Fint, BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, Bank of America, Brooks Brothers, I'll name them all out. They consistently talk about tokenization. They're consistently putting together products. They see something in this industry, which they know they can go ahead and level up their own games and they can level up the world. We're going digital anyway. They're like, this is beautiful. We know how to package this. And they are talking to mature individuals. They're not, you think they're on the phones, Quanta on the phones with people screaming at them? You think Larry Fint is on the phone with somebody that's screaming with them? No. No. That's why they're beating us. Because we're too busy. I don't know. Everybody thinks they're a celebrity in this goddamn space. Nobody knows you. A few people know me. Hey, listen, a few people know me because of politics and, politics. And because in the early days when they were looking for people to explain crypto, I got tapped to go in. But other than that, why is everybody walking around here like they're Kim Kardashian in terms of fame? You know where I wanted to go next with that. But like, why y'all walking around like you just signed a 5-year, $200 million contract? What are we talking about? Like, ain't nobody knows you. And I'm telling you about even me. A few people know me because, hey, I write for the street crypto and like all these other things. Like I do a few other things that give me a little bit more exposure. And yes, I ran for, for a House seat. And yes, I'm looking to go ahead and take shit to the next level. But if I walk into Times Square, I don't think people, oh shit, that's the guy from finance. No, like that's not happening. That's the guy who talks about, no, that's not happening. So why is everybody walking around like, listen, I'm confident to go ahead and say that kind of stuff. And yet I've had a lot more press. And I'm telling you that like, we need to change retail needs to change crypto. It really needs to get better. So I like what he did. I like what X did with the whole policy of paid promotions. Finally, they came out with the paid promotions button. You click it and you just show it. Nothing wrong with it. Good for you. If you got a deal, good for you. If you are making a brand, by the way, for anybody shaming you, if you are making a brand out here, your personal brand, if you're building it, if people are shaming you for taking deals, you're surrounded by the wrong people. If they're shaming you for having sponsorships and partnerships within crypto, you're surrounded by the wrong people. If you are a content creator, how are you going to get paid? It's like Michael Jordan not taking on a Nike sponsorship. Like Michael Jordan played basketball, Kobe played basketball, and Nike approached them to sponsor them so they would wear their items because people would watch them. They wanted them as ambassadors. It's the same analogy. I feel like I'm the union leader for these people, man. Like they got scared because they needed to, because I know why you got scared, because now you got to trade. Like I said, now you got to trade, and trading is not your forte. You can't trade. You're way out of a paper bag. So now you're kind of worried. Holy shit, I'm actually going to have to trade? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I know. A lot of you guys are good with gift of gab. The gift of gab. Anyway, I don't know. TikTok is not, it seems like TikTok is not approving me on this live stream right now. I don't know what I said. I'm reporting on the events that happened in Iran, where the United States of America, along with Israel, went and hit first. and they took out everybody, or almost 90% of the entire regime. Okay? But Iran is still fighting. The regime, whoever's left is still fighting. They're still shooting missiles off. The United States is waiting. Trump is saying that you have not seen anything yet. I don't know what that means. I don't even know what that means. We have not seen anything yet. What does that mean? Are we going to have another shock and awe? Are we going to have one of those moments? I see a lot of Democrats are finally waking up and supporting Trump, saying that the Trump administration, the president of the United States of America, did the right thing. They're starting to slowly support because they maybe have no other choice, because the people that vote for them are extremely happy. Do you know that most Iranian people did not vote for Trump? Most Iranian people did not vote for Trump. And look what's happening now. Most of them are Democrats. And they came out on national TV to say, I'm a Democrat. I don't agree with a lot of things that Trump has done, but I will say I agree with this. And I think that the Democrats, our leaders, need to stand with Trump because he is doing something that no other leader has done, and that is attempt to free the people of Iran from the regime, that dictatorship, that nightmare of a regime, and a regime that encouraged terrorism. Look, a lot of people say both sides, that both politicians, they both lie. That's what people always say. Democrats, Republicans, independents, they're on both sides. They took both sides. You get what I'm saying. A lot of people say that all the time. That's why, to me, when I look at Trump, and everybody has their own agenda. Everybody has their own agenda. Do not get it twisted. Everybody has their own agenda. I get it. But I believe Trump really does care about the United States of America. He really does care about these issues. He wants to be known, by the way. He has that ego, and I voted for that ego. He has that ego where he wants to be known as one of the greatest to ever do it. One of the greatest presidents of all time. He wants that. I tweeted this out, which I want to go ahead and read to you guys. This is what I tweeted out. I really want to read this out to you guys. America got so used to weak leadership that strength feels like aggression now. We called weakness diplomacy. We called hesitation thoughtful. Then Trump shows up and half the country acts shocked. You don't have to like him, but pretending strength is the problem is how we got here in the first place. And I believe that to be fact. I believe that to be fact. Now, somebody just copied me, Panama John, on Twitter, went ahead and said he copied me in terms of he searched my old tweets, which I won't delete. In 2025 of June, I wrote, tired of these fucking wars. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I never will take that back. I'm anti-war. Then he captured another one, November 2024. Trump's about to end all these wars and he's not even in office yet. Yeah, I believe Trump will ultimately end all the wars. That's not a I got you moment with me. That's not a I got you. I would read this out, but I'd probably get another fucking warning from TikTok. But this guy wrote, it's like these people, and he's talking about me, it's like these people forget what they post. A fucking idiot dude should lose all credibility after this because it only means he's sucking the big D and D-riding sad shit. This is it. This is what I am literally telling you guys. It's sad. It's sad. It really is sad. Sad. Anyway, welcome to the breakdown. sponsored by Midnight, and also the second hour, Cake Wallet. I gotta see if Vic answers me back. We're gonna bring Vic on. Vic, who is the founder of Cake Wallet. We're gonna bring him on, talk about privacy as well. Vic's been big on privacy. Vic's been talking about, the creator of Cake Wallet, been talking about Monero forever, privacy forever, Bitcoin forever. It's cool. In the same month, we'll have Vic on and we'll have Charles on. And Charles, man, I love, yes, I'm partnered with Midnight, but at the end of the day, it's a sponsor of this show. But at the end of the day, privacy matters. Hold on one second. I want to see if TikTok went ahead and took off this goddamn. Give me a second. I want to see if TikTok took off this thing, or they came back and said that they're not going to take it. This is crazy. Appeal not approved. We have reviewed your live and found that your live content violates our community guidelines. The visibility restrictions during your live will continue and will not adjust. I'm not happy with this appeal. It says unoriginal or reproduced content. They're what? TikTok, you're crazy. Those are commercials. Those are goddamn commercials. This is a TV show. This is what are you going? If Fox is streaming on here, you're also taking them out? What is happening here? Hold on, I can't even. Restricting me for playing an ad on my own show. Wild. I'm restricted because I played an ad. This is crazy business. Holy shit. Hold on. I thought the Americans took over. Tech, the only thing is I can't do that. I can't do that because I'm pushing this out to TikTok through Restream. This is crazy, but it says it right there. Like, this is absolutely nuts. Freedom of speech. Holy shit, this woke virus. I can't stand it, man. I really can't stand this shit. I really cannot stand this woke shit. Like, I really can't. I really can't. Restricting a live for commercials? For ads? What is wrong with you guys? And it's because I reference a different platform? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What the hell is going on? What in the... Restream don't got the goddamn answers. Anyway, I don't want to get angry. Okay. What do we expect this week is really the question. What do we expect? Obviously, anything that happens from a political standpoint, geopolitics, all that stuff affects the markets, right? All these things do affect the markets. It affects everything, every single thing in our lives. 100%. Affects everything. Affects it all. So what do I think happens? Here's what I think. Let's break this down. I don't believe Trump and the administration plans to be here long. And what I'm saying about, what I'm really, what I'm putting that towards is they don't want to be in Iran for more than a week. So when Trump says that Iran and that regime has not seen the full capabilities of what America has to offer, I believe it. When Israel says that they're ready to unleash hell onto Iran, I believe it. They have the weapons. Both have the weapons. You now have, which they're being dragged into this because they don't want to do this because they're soft as shit. Okay? They're soft as hell. But you now have France and others that are sending ships towards the region. China's upset because China now loses its ally, because Iran was China's ally. China did everything possible for Iran. Just like Venezuela. See, China thought they were sneaky. Trump saw it from 24 miles away. Trump saw exactly what China and their sneaky asses were doing. He saw it. And he was willing to move on it. You see, a lot of our politicians, all they do is talk. Do I want to get into a war? No. Because I'll listen. I agree with everybody who says, well, if you want war, go out there, put on the boots and go fight. I agree with that. I do agree with it. But there's a difference between boots on the ground and using your military equipment and doing what they're doing right now. There's a technical difference between the two. This is an operation where they are taking out leadership that wants to create a nuclear bomb to use it against everybody. At some point, you got to get them. That's it. You got to get them. You can't, I know I said this the entire show, but you cannot allow China to have a nuclear bomb. You just cannot allow them to have one. We gave them money. You can't negotiate with terrorists. You cannot negotiate with terrorists. By the way, the people of Iran, 90% of the people, I guess, they want regime change. They've been living in hell. And of course, I'm in the belief of people should do it themselves. The Americans, us Americans, we did it ourselves. I'm all, you know what? That's where I'm a little bit fair and you guys aren't. I agree with a lot of the things said from both sides. But here's a situation when you got to look at it and say, we cannot allow them to have a nuke. They will nuke everything. They will destroy the planet. These are the type of people that if they had nuclear weapons and you're coming after them, or if they just wake up in a bad mood, they'll press the red button and say goodbye to everybody. They're ready to go ahead and take themselves out. What makes you think they won't take the rest of the world with them? They don't care. And that's what you guys are. So when I see protests, when I see Democratic officials that are against this, meanwhile, 4 or 5 years ago, they were for this, but it's because it's Trump, orange man bad that they're, and you look bad. You're going to lose. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, if Trump can get this done in a week's time, he is 100% assured a victory for the Republicans when midterms come around. Because now everybody's seen what the Democrats really stand for. The politicians, I'm not talking about Democrats, plain Democrats, Democratic people that vote. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about the officials. If you're a Democrat and you're watching the politicians that you voted into office, are you not kind of like taken back for a second? Like, I could say that about some of the Republicans in office. Why can't you guys say it about some of the Democrats? Y'all watch your entire party do the most despicable things during the State of the Union address towards a president. And then this, where Iranian people who did not vote for Trump, most of them did not vote for Trump. They are celebrating in the streets and thanking Trump for freedom. And Democrats are standing there saying, this is illegal. This shouldn't have taken place. It's like, what is happening? Tech, we'll talk about that. You'll help me out here because, you know, I don't know what's going on here. Okay. Play an ad, they restrict you. It's crazy. And you know what TikTok needs to do? We need to do TikTok. You need to do restreams, like replays of the show. Where's the replays of the show? No replays of the show. You just give me options to cut it up and put it out there. I don't want that. I want the replay of the show. Let the people cut it up if they want to cut it up. Welcome to the breakdown. Sponsored by Midnight. Also sponsored by... It made easy. Secure. We're back. You have to click on the box above the. I got. You know what? So I can replay the full, but I would have to post it where? Where do I put? Okay, we'll go do. We'll go because I could get even more people. I'm like, why isn't that? Why can't I see? This is why. Full-time producer. Shout out to everybody who can see me, by the way. Thank you very much for joining in. Appreciate you. Holy shit. I got a message. Hold on once. Oh shit, that's... Oh, okay. I don't know if this is new. Not a new man. No, I thought Landy was in here. That kind of scared me. Anyway, welcome to the breakdown, episode 674. Markets are up. They're in the green. So anybody who was worried about the markets are green. Is this the bottom? Are we looking at the bottom? Is this it? You know, usually throughout my time in crypto, which has been forever, usually when people are calling a certain number, it doesn't hit. So what I mean by that is when people are calling for $50,000 Bitcoin, right now people are calling for $40,000, $50,000 Bitcoin. We've been stuck in this area right now. We've been stuck in the $60,000 area, going back and forth in this level. Usually, to me, that's a sign of we might pop towards the upside. But you always get, you know, so if somebody says 40, it's always 50. If somebody says 50, it's always 60. I've always seen it play out in this space. So I don't know. Me personally, I'm DCAing. I'm going into things that I like. I'm buying things that I like. I'm buying things that I think that are definitely underappreciated and oversold. Those are the things that I'm looking at. I am going to say that it is time to look at, you know, I heard somebody said you shouldn't be looking into memes. I'm going to stay on the subject of memes for a second. Some people said you shouldn't even look into the topic of memes. Memes are over. I just want to remind everybody, memes will make a comeback. Memes that are here and still working, they'll come back. Memes rule the world. Life is a meme. People use memes to express themselves. Do not think for 1 second that memes will not make a comeback. They will. And you will be wrong. And you will be on the wrong side of history. I can promise you that. As for altcoins, I think the legitimate altcoins will survive. And you should be doing your research heavy on it. Heavy. Okay? Because these things pop. Like a lot of these things, I just want to say, when the market goes, it doesn't give you a fucking signal. When the market pops and it's ready to run again, it will not give you a signal. It's just going to happen. When crypto goes, it's just going to happen. And you are going to get caught off guard. You are 100%, I've seen it all the time through multiple cycles, through all the years that I've been here. I've seen so many people get caught off guard because they were focused on one number and one number only. Because their greed or their ego wanted to hit a certain number because they tweeted about it, they made videos about it. Successful people, you'll find them okay with being wrong, but they will not miss an opportunity. They will not. Successful people will not. People who have done things here, they will not. They will not continue to hold out hope for something that will not come to fruition. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we're close. I believe we're close. Hey, if Bitcoin hits $50,000, that's great. I'll buy. But what if we're not? What if we're at a point now that it's go time? What if right now we're in an area where people are just and this is really happening, but people are just accumulating, and you're not. And you're not. By the way, shout out to TikTok. TikTok is the TikTok, you'll love what I'm going to say right now. TikTok is the livest community that I have. Now, I'm hoping once everything's done, I know Elon is working, along with the X staff, they're working on building out a legitimate live platform for content creators and media personalities. They're working hard to develop that. I respect it. But right now, as it stands, it's a bit broken. It's buggy. Some people see you, some people don't. All these filters, all this shit. TikTok is running with the bull. TikTok is running with the bull. 100%. And I got two of the greatest moderators of all time. I got Fran, I got Tech working here. It is 1:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be doing some filming today. I'll be doing some content today. I'm actually excited to get back to it. Unbeknownst to any of you guys, okay? Unbeknownst to any of you guys, I went ahead and hurt my jaw, and you didn't see it. You know why? Because I don't call for people to put me into the goddamn tent to check me. I don't call for people to put me on IR. I kept on going. With a sore jaw, okay? Still not at 100%. I kept trooping it out. Even with guests, trooping it out. It's getting better, knock on wood. Nah, man, dude. It's nothing like that, man. Nothing like what you're thinking, I promise you. Nothing like you're thinking. I know you got a dirty mind and you might be thinking some naughty things or things you could do with me. That's weird. We as an entire society, we allowed ourselves to get to this point. This is not about crypto. We allowed ourselves to get to the point of being soft. The machine, which is run by people that we never see, they did everything in their power to put us in this type of situation. I think it calls for me talking like this. The machine that is run by people that you have never seen did their job to make sure that they can control us with division, and you see it. The division is out there. There's no middle ground anymore. There are no conversations. There's no middle ground. You're losing friends and family over conversations that you were around, or if you were born, you had these conversations decades ago, where you could sit down with family or friends and family, and have a discussion about politics, where you weren't scared to tell somebody that you voted for Bill Clinton, or you voted for Obama, or you voted for Bush, okay, instead of Gore. It might have been a little tussle here, debate on whose policies are better, but it was based on whose policies are better and who's better for the job to lead the United States of America. It didn't become violent. There wasn't political violence either. It wasn't demonstrations. Now, the machine, being that it's very powerful and has a lot of money behind it, and it owns mainstream media, 90% of mainstream media is owned by this machine. If you've ever seen that clip, if you ever looked and seen that clip of all these news stations saying the same thing, verbatim, they all got a script. And the script is, and the narrative is, to divide the people of the United States of America and divide the people of the world. That is it. That is the truth. Whether you want to believe it or not, that is the truth. You think because you're a Democrat, you're right. You think because you're a Republican, you're right. But you're all wrong. You know, if you're an American, think about it. Let's take America, one of the greatest country in the world. Let's take America. Respectfully, I know a lot of people tune in to me internationally, and I respect it. But let's take America. I'm American. You see the flag in the back. You see that pin on the jacket. You take America. We're Americans. We're Americans first. Americans first, party second, right? Now it's the other way around. It's party first, America second. Am I lying? No, I'm not. We need to be putting America first, Americans first, regardless of our views. We can have views, we can debate them, and then we can shake hands and agree to disagree, or we can not be, I don't want to say friendly with each other, but we don't have to talk to each other, okay? If it's that passionate, we can take a few days off and then come back to the table. At the end of the day, we're Americans. And we live in the greatest country of the world. But we've been psyoped. We have been psyoped by the machine. I go right back to the machine. We've been psyoped into thinking that all this shit is okay. Your pronouns are okay. Making up 94,000 pronouns, that's normal. Being obese is normal. Being anorexic is normal. All these things, gender identity forced on children when they're only 4 or 5 years old in schools, that's not normal. Taking kids away from their parents, that's not normal. Because
the parents do not want their children to go ahead and transition. That's not normal. That's a parents decide until that child is old enough to make their own decisions. Until that child is 18 and older, parents should have full control of their kids. Here we are, though. We live in a world where we are sending, or we used to send, billions of dollars to nations, to random nations that I can't even pronounce, to teach them about transitioning, or to teach them about, or to do research and provide funding for transitioning mice. We have lost our collective minds. Common sense went away. And you guys are fighting about your parties. I'm a proud Republican, but I'm just saying, when you go deeper into this topic, it's America that comes first. It's common sense that should come first. It's what can we all do to make this country better, and how if we do good, then everybody else does well. But what was happening here? We lost America. We lost respect under Biden. Don't think for 1 second we didn't. This is not to say Biden's a bad guy. I don't know what kind of guy Biden is. I didn't like his policies. I absolutely, and he didn't know where he was. Let's keep it for let's keep it 100%. He didn't know where the fuck he was. Biden had no clue. Okay? And it was sad to see him just absolutely lose it as soon as he got into the White House. And not even. It was just sad to watch a man deteriorate in front of the whole world. This is the leader of the United States of America, is the leader of the free world. And you have all these countries, our enemies, countries that despise us, watching Biden, and they know they can have their way with us because we are so stuck on our pronouns and how we should go ahead and address somebody, that people from other countries saw it and said, holy shit, America is absolutely crazy. The downfall is happening. I want you to think about that. While you fight about Democratic issues and Republican issues, I want you to think closely about how the world viewed us. Putin thought Biden was a complete joke, and the administration. He didn't take him seriously. He wasn't scared. Well, you know, a lot of people want to defend Biden and say, no, they weren't scared. China wasn't scared. Russia wasn't scared. The Saudis didn't want to do business. Like, nobody was scared. Not a single person. Not a single. North Korea wasn't scared. North Korea flew China flew spy balloons over the United States of America. China flew spy balloons over the United States of America. This is how bad it was. We finally shot it down after it did a whole goddamn spy session. And you guys sit here are just like, no, everything's fine. As long as we can go ahead and talk about pronouns, everything's fine. And this is why it led to this. No, I left the audio
on like this on purpose. I put the audio like that on purpose. I'll take it off, but honestly speaking, if Trump does not get elected into office, the United States of America would have lost its designation as a superpower. I 100% believe that. 100% believe that. While the because it's all a psyop. It's all a psyop. It was always a psyop. And China was leading the way with it. If you cannot see the damage that China did, then you're just not willing to open your eyes and unplug yourself from this matrix to see it. You want to believe in this random horseshit that's being sold to you by Chinese owned companies. But China was the real threat, and China is not out here looking to go ahead and get physical with anybody. China again went and did it differently. They played chess. They play chess. And you're playing checkers. You're too busy playing checkers. They've psyoped you into hating Israel. I have my own thoughts on the situation in Israel and everything, the situation in that region. And a lot of you guys will say, well, he's saying all this stuff because he's Jewish. You know, I'm one of the most critical people on this goddamn planet. When it comes to cryptocurrency, I'm an Ethereum maxi, right? I'm a Bitcoin maxi. But I'm critical of everything that I hold. People get mad at me when I go ahead and say, well, this shit ain't working right. And it's the same thing that I say about, like, do I like Bibi? No. I think if Israel had a better prime minister, things would be a lot better. I don't like the fact that Bibi has done things without consulting Trump. Trump goes ahead and tries to squash an issue. Here comes Bibi doing something that is completely not aligned. Remember that video when Trump looked into the camera and said both of them don't know what the fuck they're doing? They've been fighting for so long that they both don't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what Trump said when he was heading to get into the helicopter. Am I a big fan of Bibi's? No, I'm not. But you know, when people say that, so I like to put things in perspective. I like to, you know, I can go ahead and touch light on things that I don't agree with. And I know it's not the popular opinion, but when people say, for instance, when people say they want Israelis gone from that land, right? They want Jewish people to leave that land. They don't belong there. Do you understand that 80% of the current Jewish people that live in Israel were born there? So you're asking for 80% of the population to get up and leave the only country they know. That's what you're asking. I understand that you don't like Jewish people. I get it. But you're asking, because when you say Zionist, you're talking about Jews. Like, that is your way of saying, that is your way of hating a Jew. So miss me with the bullshit from a mile away. Like, we understand, okay? I understand clearly what you're saying, okay? Your whole, no, I'm talking about Zionists. I'm not talking about Jews. Stop it. It's your way to talk about the entire Jewish culture in one. But like, again, 80% were born in Israel. So you're asking Jewish people that were born in Israel, Israelis that were born in Israel, to leave. And where do you want them to go? It's the same thing, but I don't want to see people, the Palestinian people, leave either. I actually want to see them coexist finally. I'm in that camp. I'm in the camp of seeing everybody coexist. I want there to be peace already. Hamas is not going to give them peace. I hope that they can elect an official, young officials, 2 young officials from both sides that can come to the table and just bridge the gap here. Because these are 2 cousins fighting with each other. because that's all it is. It is two cousins going at it, and you have mainstream media, and you have these paid, political influencers that are pushing the agenda. I love it when they say that Jews run the United States of America. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? For the most part, Jews are poor as hell. Most Jews are poor. What do you think ghetto? Like, are you guys not up on history? Or are you just watching mainstream media or your favorite, political influencer go off on a tangent and make up their own stories? I don't like wars. I don't like conflict. I wish everybody can get along, but we living in that type of world. We live in an imaginary world. Unfortunately, there are bad people here that cause bad shit. Everybody turns, when they talk about, Congress and how Congress is owned by Jews because of AIPAC. Excuse me, why do you leave out the big pharmaceutical companies that give way more money to all your favorite senators and representatives that currently sit in the House or in the Senate or in Congress? It's funny. It's crazy. And now you have both sides. Now you have both woke left and both, you got the woke left and woke right that both hate Jews. But they'll say Zionists, but it's really Jews. You want the Jewish people to leave Israel, but 80% of the Jews that were born in Israel are Israeli and they don't know no other land. Do you understand how none of this makes sense? None of it makes sense. And do you think, maybe just sitting back, do you think if Hamas was not in charge, would there be a better situation in the Middle East? I think so. I think there would be a much better situation in the Middle East. I look at some of the things that are happening. Again, I talk about this current society. When we as a society start embracing Hitler and calling Hitler a good guy who had a good vision, when that kind of stuff starts happening, again, it's the people behind the curtain pushing these narratives, making it cool. That Hitler was a good guy. Wild. You don't even have to be Jewish, because 6 million Jews died plus, but there were Christians and Catholics and black people and who knows who else that were a part of that. So it's wild. He was a real guy. He was a really cool guy. And you see people are just playing tapes. So we're celebrating murderers, dictators that were absolutely murderers. Wild. Who are we going to celebrate next? Which one? What? We'll have to start looking through the dynasties and stuff. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. There's somebody is making a comment. You can't work in the U.S. government if you are critical of Israel. This isn't rocket science. You can be critical of Israel. You can absolutely be critical of any country, including Israel. I'm in that boat. Period. Somebody just said that over 200 American troops dead so far in this war and you don't care. I don't care. I only talk about how we don't celebrate the troops, that we don't celebrate or help our veterans that come back here missing limbs. I don't care. When's the last time you donated, okay, or you've spoken to a veteran? Okay? Do not talk about me. Look at yourself in the goddamn mirror. Don't talk about me. Somebody who constantly comes onto this very show talks about our troops. And I don't want war. War is the last resort for everything. So I don't know where you're getting your information, but I get it. It's the hatred for Jews. I understand. It's because of Jews saying it. I get it. It's because I'm Jewish, right? It's because I'm Jewish. It's not the victim card. I can care less. At this point, you're numb. I'm numb to all the stuff that you guys say. It doesn't matter anymore. Any opinion that I give, it's, oh, look at the Jew. Jews. Okay, I guess. Just play into it, right? But this is where we're at. This is what they want. This is where we're at in this current time frame. I've never seen anti-Semitism like this in my life. Honestly, I haven't. In 44 years, I know I don't look 44, but in 44 years, I've never seen anti-Semitism like this. It's wild and crazy. I'm sure you're friends with a lot of Jewish people. I'm sure a lot of you guys are friends with Jewish people. How do you feel? Just outright, just like spitting in their faces. At the end of the day, though, like, Jews have been through so much, we're blamed for everything that it's like, it's already numb. Like, you're numb to the fact, like, Jews are blamed for anything. You break your leg right now, and you're blaming a Jew. Right now, you're in my chat, you're gonna blame me for fucking probably missing out on a crypto play. That's how it is. It's like, oh, it's because of David, his Jewish podcast, and right? It's just, that's what it is. See, what you don't see or what you don't hear from real individuals who are actually boots on the ground, who actually are out there, what you don't hear is that, you know, Israelis and Palestinians do have a good friendship. They are friendly with each other. What you see is what the media wants you to see. The media is what pushes these narratives. And yes, Jessica, I agree with you. I'm not a big Bibi fan. I'm not. And I've said this so many times. And maybe I'm going against everything. Maybe, you know, people do tune in here who know me. They tune in and they're like, man, like, how can you say that? But you know what? I think Israel would be better with a different leader, a younger leader. And the same thing goes for the Palestinians. Like, they would be better off without Hamas, with a young leader and two young leaders that can make peace and bring peace, because it is cousins. It is cousins. At the end of the day, they are cousins. That's it. Bottom line. And that's what it is. That's how I see it. But again, all these things, if you look at everything in the world today, 3 decades ago, we would not be talking about pronouns. 3 decades ago, we would think it's insane to have parents have their children taken away from them because a child wants to, or a teacher or somebody who's not even in the family or blood thinks that the child should be a different gender. Like that, these are wild times. You would never see this 30 years ago. None of this stuff would ever play out. And this is not bigotry talk. This is not hate talk. It's reality. It's common sense. We have a thing where we battle and we fight because we got to go ahead and make sure that biological men are playing in women's sports. Like, is this normal? This is the psyop that I'm talking about. The psyop that has happened where we're fighting over uncommon things. Meanwhile, all these other countries are building out their strategies on how to take over. BRICS, right? BRICS currency, how BRICS, China and Russia, all of them had this. It's predominantly Russia that got not Russia, but BRICS, China that got Russia and everybody into it to go ahead and psyop everybody. You guys fight about your pronouns. We're going to go ahead and make a new economy here. But you can't see it because a lot of you guys are just full of hate, full of hatred. You're so party affiliated that you can't take off the glasses. You are not willing to go ahead and assess the situation. I'm not right on everything, by the way. I don't pretend to be right on everything like most of you guys. This is just my opinion. I believe a lot of them are factual, but it's my opinion. At the end of the day, it's my opinion. I try to bring my opinion. I try to bring facts along with opinions that make sense to the table. That's what I try to do. I don't care, by the way, who you are, what religion. Here's the difference. I grew up in New York City. We're diverse. Okay, and I must have said this line so many times. For those who have been watching me for years, y'all already heard this. But I come from a very diverse background. So, like, for me, I don't give a shit about your orientation, about your sex life, what religion. It doesn't matter. I grew up around all this. The only thing that I ever said, and I will continue to say, is what you do in your bedroom and your love life, I don't give a shit. Don't push it on me. And we're good. That's it. You guys, think about how bad the situation has gotten to the point where we wanted to cancel comedy, where we're canceling comedians for cracking jokes. You believe that? We wanted to cancel Dave Chappelle. I bring it back to Dave Chappelle. We wanted to, and Dave Chappelle doesn't share the same opinions as me right now. And that's fine. That's what's great about the First Amendment and freedom of speech, where you can have these conversations. And it's great that we're not banning people for having a different opinion. Like I tell everybody, like right here in the TikTok chat, I will never tell Tech or Fran to go ahead and block somebody because they don't share the same opinion as me. No, we need to listen to people that don't have the same exact opinion as us, because we might learn something out of that entire discussion. We might learn something. We might just come off learning something. See, you guys aren't used to Trump. You guys are not used to Trump. You're not used to the way he talks, the way he speaks, that aura that he has. Y'all see that aura. Y'all think that he's conceited, he's arrogant, egotistical. That's the first thing you think of. When I see that, I see a New Yorker, and I see somebody who's all about making shit happen. That's what Trump is. Like, he wants to make shit happen. You don't think Trump, like I said, I voted for Trump's ego. Trump wants you to see him in the books, the history books, as one of the greatest presidents of all time. That's what he is looking for. When he leaves in 3 years, okay, because he has 3 more years. For some of you guys, you're crying right now for no reason, but he has 3 more years with us here. Trump wants to leave with an economy that is absolutely healthy or getting healthier, with common sense in place, where we stop people from crossing into our country illegally. Like, think about the things that he has done here in a year and a month or 2 months' time. What did you think? Kamala Harris would do a better job? Come on, guys. Like, seriously, have you seen Kamala talk? Can we be real for a second? Have we not seen Kamala Harris perform? CBS 60 Minutes had to edit an interview to make it look normal. That's not normal. Do you get it? That in itself wasn't normal. Anyway, I'm on a tangent, right? I'm on a tangent. Number one, I'm upset because TikTok gave me 2 violations for, I don't know what the fuck, but then I know what the fuck it was. It was because I'm playing commercials and they think it's unoriginal commercial. It is, I will go ahead and make sure that gets fixed before the next broadcast. But shout out to Midnight. Shout out to Cake Wallet, Poly Market. Shout out to
this.
What the hell is that? Hold on one second. Shout out to the sponsors and the partners. I got a lot of things that I say this all the time, but it really is a lot of things that I'm working on. Um, I'm going to be so happy to showcase it in the middle of the month. Shout out to the Clippers. That's right. Shout out to the Clippers. Shout out to Tech. Shout out to Fran that moderate the TikTok channel. I need some moderators on Twitter once that shit starts working. But shout out to everybody who does tune in. I am thinking of just making. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out what's the best. What's the best route to go here? If that's to make YouTube the number one channel, or is it TikTok, or is it Twitter? I love Twitter, man. I've been on Twitter forever. I've built my brand here. Twitter's been nothing but good to me. I appreciate Twitter. I'll figure that out. By the way, a quote for you guys. Well, I have no quote, but I have something to say, and that is, as always, just be good to y'all. Be good to each other. Just be good to each other. You don't have to be mean to each other. You don't have to be vicious towards each other. You can be successful without drowning somebody else. Okay. I got to this place without drowning people. Okay. I got to this place without tearing people down, tearing people apart, cutting people's legs. I didn't have to do none of that. If you are talented and you are good at what you do, you don't need to tear nobody down. Okay. You don't need to tear not a single person down. So that's it. Bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, episode 674. That's right. We were joined here by Landy. Alexander couldn't make it because there was something happening in Iran, and he reports from Iran. So, or he reports about things coming out of Iran. He couldn't make it here today. By the way, the sponsors again: Midnight, Privacy Matters. Okay, Cake Wallet, Secure Wallet, automatically Cake Wallet, Secure Wallet, and then Polymarket, the official prediction market sponsor of the DG brand and the breakdown. So there you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully tomorrow I won't be restricted. We'll go ahead and make sure that we put, or I can send an email to TikTok to let them know, like, man, I'm playing ads, man. Don't be doing that kind of shit to me. Cash out. By the way, Cash Out. If you see Cash Out on the timeline from now on, do call her. What is it? Snotface? What is it? Snot, because you do look like you absolutely 100% do look like Snotface. I think that's what it. I forgot that. What was it? The movie called? Where's Fred? What was it? What was the movie called? What was that movie called? Somebody help me out here. I'm drowning. Somebody help me out here. I am drowning, man. I am drowning. But yeah, I think when you see her out there on these streets, okay, call her that. I don't even know if she looks completely like that, but I'm just saying. Anyway, it's crazy. We got women in the chat. It's wild. I'm surprised the virgins out here didn't chase the women away. It's crazy. Anyway, no, remember that movie? It was like Fred. It was like fuck. I remember that movie. It was like Fred. What a breakdown of a movie. Remember that movie? It was like Fred. Might be drowning, but you look handsome doing it, right? That's right. I might be drowning. There you go. Somebody help me out here because I did not mention how ridiculously good looking I am and how handsome I am and how intelligent I am, and I did not mention that. What was the movie? I don't know what the movie was about. It was about a young girl. Drop Dead Fred. There it goes. Cash Out said it. And the only reason why I'm laughing because obviously I don't know what she looks like, but the girl that plays in that movie, there's a resemblance, but what I'm saying is I don't know what she looks like because obviously people like to say anonymous, and that's cool, and they should, especially here. But some of the pictures she's put out there, you can tell that it fits. The character fits. Anyway, Tomorrow we'll be back with episode 675. Oh my God, we're approaching 700 episodes. That's official. Unofficial, way more episodes than 674. But we'll be back tomorrow. We have guests lined up. Unfortunately, the year starting off weird because everybody's going from March to April. Some people just are readjusting their schedules to come on here, and I'm fine with it. I'm not upset. Cash out, you do look like her. Like, you do look like her. 100%. Like, you do. Like if you were to dox, well, you don't need to dox. That's you. Like that's it. You're good. Like, I know exactly what you look like. Anyway, the breakdown, episode 674. It was sponsored by Midnight, Cake Wallet, Paul Market. Shout out to everybody who tuned in. Appreciate all you guys. And on that note, probably YouTube. I don't know. Probably YouTube. I don't know. That's where I'm going. YouTube. Anyway, on that note, I am fucking out.